When you dial 911, you expect to be the one in danger. But what happens when the person on the other end of the line realizes they're not safe either? Welcome to Night Encounters. In this video, you will hear 3 terrifying true stories from 911 operators who encountered disturbing situations while simply doing their jobs. These are allegedly true accounts. Story 1. The Open Line by Sophie. This happened to me in 2017 when I was working as a 911 dispatcher in a mid-sized city in Ohio. I'd been on the job for about 3 years at that point, so I thought I'd heard it all. Domestic disputes, medical emergencies, drunk drivers, you name it. I worked the night shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and honestly, most nights were pretty routine, quiet even. That particular night started like any other. It was a Wednesday in October, around 2:30 in the morning. My coworker, Travis, was at the console next to mine, half asleep and scrolling through his phone during the lull. The dispatch center was dimly lit, just the glow of our computer screens and the occasional flicker from the vending machines down the hall. It was peaceful, almost too peaceful. I was sipping on my 3rd cup of coffee when the call came through. Line 3 lit up on my screen. I clicked to answer, putting on my headset. 911, what's your emergency? Silence, but not complete silence. I could hear something. Breathing. Slow, deliberate breathing. And behind it, there was this faint static, like the call was coming from a bad connection or an old phone. I tried again. Hello? This is 911. Can you hear me? Still nothing. Just that breathing. In and out. In and out. It was measured, almost rhythmic. My training kicked in immediately. Sometimes people call 911 but can't speak because they're hiding from someone, or they're injured, or they're in shock. So I went into the standard protocol. If you can hear me but can't speak, press any button on your phone once for yes, twice for no. I waited. 10 seconds. 20. Nothing. But the line stayed open. The breathing continued. I felt a small knot forming in my stomach. This wasn't entirely unusual, but something about it felt off. The breathing was too controlled, too aware. I'm going to stay on the line with you, I said, keeping my voice calm and professional. Help is on the way. I wasn't lying. I'd already started tracing the call, running the number through our system. The screen populated slowly. It was a cell phone, no registered address. The GPS ping was bouncing, which meant the phone was either moving or in an area with poor signal. And then I heard it. Underneath the breathing, so faint I almost missed it, there was a sound, a mechanical hum, like an engine idling. Or maybe a generator? Can you tell me where you are? I asked again, leaning closer to my screen as if that would somehow help. The breathing stopped. My heart skipped. I thought they'd hung up, but the call timer was still running. The line was still active. Then a voice. Barely a whisper. So quiet I had to turn up my headset volume. Help. It was a woman. Young, I thought. Maybe late 20s. Her voice was strained, hoarse, like she'd been crying or screaming. I'm here, I said quickly, my pulse quickening. What's your name? Where are you? I don't know where I am. Her words came out in a rush, panicked and breathless. It's dark. I can't see. There's no windows. I think I'm in a basement or something. My stomach tightened. This was real. This was happening. Okay, stay calm. You're doing great. Is there anyone else with you? No? I'm alone. But someone was here. Earlier. I heard them upstairs, walking around. I think they're coming back. I could hear the terror in her voice, the way it cracked at the edges. I started typing frantically, flagging the call as a possible abduction or hostage situation. I needed to get officers out there, but the GPS was still pinging erratically. It was showing a location about 15 miles outside the city, in a rural area with spotty coverage. "What's the last thing you remember before you ended up there?" I asked, trying to keep her talking, trying to get any detail that might help us find her. I was walking home from work, late shift at the diner. It was dark. And then, I don't know, I woke up here. My head hurts so bad. I think someone hit me. Okay, is there anything around you? Anything you can describe? There was a pause. I heard rustling, like she was moving. There's concrete walls, cold, smells like mold, and there's chains. Oh God, there's chains on the floor. My blood ran cold. I signaled to Travis, mouthing, "Get the sergeant." He looked at me, saw the expression on my face, and immediately got up. "Listen to me," I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. "We're going to find you. I need you to." And then she screamed. Not a scream of pain, a scream of pure, primal fear. "He's back! He's coming down the stairs! Oh God, please!" The line went dead. I stared at my screen, my hands frozen over the keyboard. The call timer had stopped. The line was disconnected. No, I muttered, frantically trying to redial. It went straight to a generic voicemail. "The number you have dialed is not available." Travis came back with Sergeant Holloway, a gruff man in his 50s who'd been with the department for over 20 years. "What have we got?" he asked. I explained everything, my words tumbling out faster than I intended. The call, the woman, the basement, the scream. Holloway's expression darkened. He leaned over my shoulder, looking at the GPS data. "That's out near the old industrial zone. Bunch of abandoned warehouses and foreclosed properties out there. I'll get units rolling, but it's going to take them at least 20 minutes to canvass the area." 20 minutes. That felt like a lifetime. I sat there, headset still on, staring at my screen. And then, 5 minutes later, line 3 lit up again. Same number. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I answered immediately. "Hello? Are you there?" Silence. Then, that breathing again. But it was different this time. Heavier. Deeper. This wasn't her. "Who is this?" I demanded, my voice sharper than I intended. A low chuckle. Male. It sent ice down my spine. "She's fine," the voice said, slow and deliberate. "For now." "Where is she?" "What have you done with her?" Another chuckle. "You're trying to trace this, aren't you?" "That's cute." I didn't respond. I was typing furiously, trying to get another location ping, anything. "Tell your officers to stop looking," he continued, his voice calm, almost conversational. "Or I'll make sure she never makes another phone call." "Let her go," I said, my hands trembling. "You don't have to do this." "Oh, but I do." And then, in the background, I heard it. Her. Sobbing. Muffled, like she was gagged. "Please," I whispered, abandoning all protocol. "Please don't hurt her." The man laughed. "You have a nice voice, Sarah." My blood turned to ice. He knew my name. "How do you—" "I know a lot of things. I know you work nights. I know you drive a blue Honda. I know you live alone." I felt the room tilt. This wasn't just about the woman. This was about me. "I've been watching you for a while now," he said, his voice soft, almost gentle. "You're always so focused, so dedicated. It's admirable, really." I couldn't breathe. I looked around the dispatch center, suddenly feeling exposed, vulnerable. The dark corners felt darker. The silence felt heavier. "Don't look so scared," he said. "I'm not there." "Not yet." The line went dead again. I ripped off my headset and stood up so fast, my chair rolled backward and slammed into the console behind me. Holloway was already on the radio, coordinating with the officers en route to the location. Travis was standing next to me, his face pale. "He knew my name," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "He knew where I live." The next few hours were a blur. Officers found the location, an abandoned meat processing plant off Route 48. They found evidence, tire tracks, disturbed soil, but no woman, no man. The phone that had called me was discovered in a dumpster 2 miles away, wiped clean. They never found her, whoever she was, and they never found him. I quit 2 weeks later. I couldn't do it anymore. Every time the phone rang, I thought it was him. Every shadow in the parking lot made my heart race. I moved to a different state, changed my number, even changed my name. But sometimes, late at night, I still wonder, was she real? Did I really hear her voice? Or was it all part of some sick game he was playing? I don't know if that makes things better or worse. All I know is that I can't listen to the sound of someone breathing on a phone without feeling that cold, creeping dread all over again. Story 2. The Repeat Caller by Mason. I worked as a 911 operator in Seattle for 6 years. Started when I was 22, fresh out of college with a degree in criminal justice and no real plan. Dispatch wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills, and I liked the idea of helping people. Most days, it felt like I was making a difference. Most days. This story takes place in January of 2019. I was working a double shift because one of our operators had called in sick, and we were short-staffed. It was a Friday night, which meant the phones were busy. Bar fights, car accidents, noise complaints, the usual weekend chaos. Around 11 p.m., I got a call that seemed routine at first. 911, what's your emergency? I think someone's trying to break into my house. It was a man, older, maybe in his 60s. His voice was shaky but not panicked, more uncertain. Okay, sir, what's your address? He gave me an address in a residential neighborhood on the north side. I pulled it up on my screen while I kept him talking. What makes you think someone's trying to break in? I heard noises outside my back door, like someone rattling the handle, and I saw a shadow move past my window. Are you alone in the house? Yes. My wife passed away 2 years ago. It's just me. I could hear the loneliness in his voice, the kind that settles into your bones when you've lived alone for too long. All right, I'm sending officers to your location now. Stay on the line with me. Do you have a safe place you can go? A room with a lock? I'm in my bedroom. Doors locked. Good. Stay there. Help is about 10 minutes away. I stayed on the line with him, listening to his breathing, occasionally asking if he heard anything else. He said the noises had stopped. By the time the officers arrived and cleared the property, there was no sign of forced entry, no footprints in the yard. They checked the perimeter, talked to the neighbors. Nothing. The man, his name was Gerald, apologized profusely. Said he probably just heard the wind or a raccoon. The officers reassured him, told him to call back if anything else happened. I thought that was the end of it. But 2 nights later, Gerald called again. Same story. Noises outside, shadows moving. This time, he sounded more scared. I sent officers again. Again, they found nothing. This happened 4 more times over the next 2 weeks. Every few nights, Gerald would call, convinced someone was trying to get into his house. Each time, the officers found no evidence of an intruder. After the 6th call, One of the responding officers noted in the report that Gerald seemed confused and disoriented. They suggested a welfare check, maybe a mental health evaluation. The man was elderly, living alone. It wasn't uncommon for people in his situation to experience paranoia or early dementia, but something about it bothered me. Each time Gerald called, he sounded genuinely terrified, not confused, not senile, terrified. Then, one night in early February, I got another call from him, but this time was different. 911, what's your emergency? Marcus. His voice was barely a whisper. I froze. He'd used my name. I hadn't told him my name. Sir, how did you... Please, listen to me. I don't have much time. He's in the house. My pulse quickened. Who's in the house? I don't know, but he's been coming here for weeks, every night. I thought I was imagining it, but I'm not. I set up a camera. I have proof. Gerald, where are you right now? In the closet. In my bedroom. He's downstairs. I can hear him moving around. I immediately dispatched officers, flagging it as a confirmed intruder. Stay where you are. Don't make any noise. Officers are on their way. He knows I'm here, Gerald whispered. He always knows. What do you mean? He leaves notes. Every time he comes. Little notes. On my kitchen table. On my nightstand. They say things like, I see you, and soon. A chill ran down my spine. Why didn't you tell the officers about the notes? I did. But when they come, the notes are gone. He takes them. I sound crazy, I know. But I'm not crazy. I could hear something in the background. A creak. Footsteps. He's coming upstairs, Gerald breathed. His voice so quiet I had to strain to hear him. Officers are 3 minutes away. Stay quiet. Stay hidden. Marcus, if I don't make it, my camera, it's hidden in the bookshelf, in the living room. Tell them to check the camera. You're going to be fine, Gerald. Just... I heard a door slam open. Gerald's breathing turned ragged, panicked, and then I heard another voice. Low, calm. Found you, Gerald screamed. There was a crash, like something heavy falling. A struggle. I was shouting into the phone. Gerald, talk to me. And then, nothing. The line stayed open, but all I could hear was silence. Then, footsteps. Slow, deliberate, getting closer to the phone. Someone picked it up. Hello? A man's voice, smooth, almost polite. This is 911. Officers are on the way. Leave the residence now. Oh, I know they're coming. That's what makes this fun. Who are you? What have you done with Gerald? Gerald? The man chuckled. He's taking a nap. Permanently. My hands were shaking. I could hear sirens in the background getting closer. You're not going to get away with this, I said, trying to keep him talking. Sure I am. You want to know why? Because I've done this before, lots of times, and I'll do it again. Then why are you still there? Why not run? Because I want them to find him. I want them to see what I did, and I want you to know you couldn't save him. The sirens were right outside now. I could hear officers shouting, "Police, open the door." The man on the phone laughed. Tell Marcus I said goodbye. The line went dead. Officers breached the door within seconds. They found Gerald in his bedroom closet. He'd been stabbed multiple times. Dead. But the killer was gone. Vanished. They searched the house, the neighborhood, brought in K9 units. Nothing. It was like he'd evaporated into thin air. They did find the camera Gerald had mentioned. It was exactly where he said it would be. The footage showed a man entering the house through a basement window that Gerald had forgotten to lock, night after night, just watching him sleep. moving through the house like a ghost. But the camera never got a clear shot of his face. He always wore a hood, kept his head down, like he knew it was there. The case is still open. They never caught him. And I can't shake the feeling that he's still out there doing this to someone else. I transferred to a different position after that. I couldn't take 911 calls anymore. Every time I heard an elderly voice on the line, every time someone said they thought they heard something, I thought of Gerald, and I thought of that man's voice, calm, confident. I've done this before. How many Geralds were there? How many people called for help, and no one believed them until it was too late? I don't know, and I don't think I want to know. Story 3. The Wrong House. By Jessica, I was a 911 dispatcher in rural Pennsylvania for 4 years. It wasn't a big operation, just a small county dispatch center that covered several townships. Most of our calls were medical emergencies, the occasional drunk driver, or animal control. It was quiet work, which suited me fine. This happened in the summer of 2018. I was working a night shift, midnight to 8 a.m. It was a Tuesday, which meant it was dead quiet. My supervisor had stepped out for a coffee run, leaving me alone at the console. Around 3 a.m., I got a call that started out as what I thought would be a standard domestic dispute. 911, what's your emergency? Heavy breathing. Then a child's voice, a little girl. My mommy needs help. My heart immediately clenched. Children calling 911 is always gut-wrenching. Okay, sweetheart. What's your name? Emma. Hi, Emma. You're doing great. Can you tell me what's wrong with your mommy? She's sleeping. And there's a man in the house. I felt my stomach drop. A man? Do you know who he is? No. He's not my daddy. He broke the window and came inside. I was already typing, pulling up the phone number, tracing the location. Emma, where are you right now? In my room. Under my bed. Good girl. Stay there. Don't come out. Do you know your address? She recited it, her voice small and scared. I recognized the area, a rural stretch with houses spaced far apart. Response time would be at least 15 minutes. Emma, is your mommy in the same room as you? No. She's in her room, down the hall. I heard her yelling at the man and then she stopped. And now it's really quiet. Okay, officers are on their way. I need you to stay very quiet and stay hidden. Can you do that for me? Yes. I could hear her breathing, shaky and uneven. I stayed on the line, whispering reassurances, telling her how brave she was. I radioed the responding units, giving them the situation. And then Emma whispered, "He's coming." What do you mean, sweetheart? I hear him, in the hallway. He's opening doors. My pulse was racing. Stay quiet, Emma. Don't move. Don't make a sound. I could hear it too, through the phone. Footsteps, heavy, deliberate. A door creaking open. Then another. Emma's breathing became even quieter, like she was trying to disappear. The footsteps stopped, right outside her door. I held my breath. The silence stretched on, unbearable. Then the door to her room opened. I heard him walk in, slow steps. I could hear him moving around, opening her closet, looking under furniture. Emma wasn't making a sound. I prayed the phone wouldn't make any noise, that he wouldn't hear her. And then his voice, rough, irritated. I know you're in here, kid. Come out. I'm not gonna hurt you. Liar. Every instinct I had screamed that he was lying. Emma didn't move, didn't breathe. He kept searching. I could hear him getting closer to the bed. My hands were gripping the edge of my desk so hard my knuckles were white. Come on out. Your mom's waiting for you. And then Emma did something that almost stopped my heart. She spoke. Where's my mommy? Her voice was so small, so scared. The man laughed. "She's sleeping. Like I said. Now come on. I want to see her first." There was a pause. "You don't believe me? I want to see her." I could hear the frustration in his voice. "Fine. But you gotta come out. Promise you won't hurt me. I promise." I wanted to scream at her not to trust him, but I couldn't. All I could do was listen, helpless. I heard movement. Emma was crawling out from under the bed. "There you are," the man said. "See? That wasn't so hard. Where's my mommy?" "Down the hall. Come on, I'll take you to her." I heard them leave the room, footsteps in the hallway. Emma's small voice asking, "Is she okay?" "She's fine. Just sleeping." They stopped. I assumed they were at the mother's bedroom. And then Emma screamed, "Mommy! Mommy! Wake up!" The sound of her crying, her desperation, it tore through me like a knife. The man's voice turned cold. Shut up, or you're next." Emma kept crying, screaming for her mother. And then I heard the first siren in the distance. Faint, but there. The man heard it too. Shit. There was a crash, like he'd knocked something over. Footsteps, running, a door slamming. Emma was still crying, still screaming for her mother. "Emma," I said, raising my voice. "Emma, can you hear me? The police are almost there." She must have dropped the phone during the chaos, because all I could hear was muffled sobs, distant and broken. The next few minutes felt like hours. I stayed on the line listening to the sirens get closer, hearing officers announce themselves as they entered the house. And then, one of the officers picked up the phone. "This is Deputy Carson. Who am I speaking with?" "This is Jennifer, County Dispatch. There's a child in the house, Emma, and a possible intruder. Is she safe?" "We've got her. She's safe, scared, but unharmed." "And the mother?" There was a pause, a long, heavy pause. "The mother's... We're going to need an ambulance." "And the coroner." My heart sank. They never caught the man. He'd fled through the back door when he heard the sirens, disappearing into the woods behind the property. They found evidence he'd been watching the house for days, footprints in the dirt outside the windows, cigarette butts. Emma's mother, her name was Rachel, had been killed. She'd fought back when he broke in, but he'd overpowered her. Emma went to live with her grandmother in another state. I never spoke to her again, but I think about her all the time. I think about how brave she was, hiding under that bed, talking to a stranger on the phone and trusting me to help her. And I think about how close it came. If the officers had been 5 minutes later, if Emma had stayed hidden just a little longer, if he'd found her before the sirens. I stayed in dispatch for another year after that, but my heart wasn't in it anymore. Every call from a child, every home invasion, every domestic dispute, it all brought me back to that night, to Emma's voice, to her screams. I left and went back to school, got my teaching degree. I work with kids now, and every time I see a child who looks scared or uncertain, I make sure they know someone is listening, someone cares, because sometimes that's all that stands between them and the darkness. The people who answer our calls for help carry the weight of every voice they hear and every voice they can't save. These stories remind us that danger can come from anywhere, at any time. And sometimes, the only thing standing between us and tragedy is a voice on the other end of the line. If you have a true original story you'd like to submit to be featured in a future video, please email us at nightencountersstories@gmail.com. Stay safe. And remember, someone is always listening.